Greetings from Florida. Here we're working on a 2016 through 2021 Mazda Miata MX5. This is the driver's side. The video is at double speed, so it'll save you some time watching it. You've got a plate behind that pull right there, and then you've got a cover right there, and a couple screws there and there. I think they were just Phillips. Panel comes off pretty easy. On the other side, you've got a couple cables that go to where that handle is that you open the door with. That pops off pretty easy. And one plug that goes to the window motor. And we're going to take off this cover right here. Make it a little bit easier. The problem here was the regulator was broken. The cables that pull the window up and down are metal cross brace. And that's what we're changing. If you find the video helpful, do me a favor, like, L-I-K-E, like the video. That'll help other people, such as yourself, find it on YouTube. If you'd like us to do this for you, Power Up Auto, Tampa Bay, Minnesota. Be happy to do this for you. We come right to you. It was on pretty tight, but not the most difficult part of this. I plugged it in just so I could see if I could move it down a little bit. I want to make sure it was a regulator before I started taking the regulator out. I was looking for a crunching, grinding sound. But yeah, that was a regulator. One, two, I believe there's a 10 millimeter. If you're having trouble getting the glass down, you can't. Oh, by the way, make sure you've got the right part. Hold it up before you take it out of the door to make sure you've got the right part. If you're having trouble getting the glass down, you can cut the metal cables that power the regulator. And then I think I'm probably going to just lock it up for the time being. Getting the regulator out is pretty easy. Getting the motor onto the regulator is a little more challenging. Those are probably all 10 millimeter. Nope, maybe not. Maybe that's why I was having a problem with that. Maybe it was 9/32. Or, since it's metric, probably 11 or 12. I think I went back to my car to get a different socket. Give me just a second. You can skip ahead if you want. Oh, I'm back. Take off those nuts. And then you've got three 10 millimeter nuts that hold the motor on. Taking out the whole thing, obviously. And why did I take that off? Oh, because I got to remove the glass to get that off at the top. So you're going to take off the stops. Then you can take the glass out. It's not very heavy, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Carefully set it aside. Yeah, I took off at the top of the glass stops that prevented the glass from coming out. Now here's where I did you a disservice, and I apologize. That's the part that's going into the motor, but I did not show that as well as I should have. I'm sorry. If I do another one, I'll do another video, but you'll just have to power through it. The trick is to get the motor onto that spool without unspooling it. If you unspool it, you're in deep trouble because you're not going to be able to get it respooled. Probably not going to be able to get it respooled. Now there's guides on the motor that line up with the guides on that spool. So you can do it. It's just a bit of a challenge. And one other thing I did, I went to put the metal plate back on. It didn't fit as well as I would have liked, so I went ahead and put some duct tape or Gorilla Tape around it as well to make sure that that plate wasn't going to come off, because if the back plate comes off, the thing will fall out and it'll unspool. Oh, I guess I am showing more than I thought I was. You do not want to let this unspool. Be very careful, please. All right, looks like I got it on. And now I'm putting the metal plate back on. And again, it didn't go on as tight as I would have liked. So I'm going to put a ton of heavy duty tape around it and across it to make sure that that plate does not come off. Which is fine. It's, you know, not under that much pressure, so that's not a problem. And if you go to the dealer, they want to sell you the motor too. You don't need the motor. The motors generally don't go. And it hasn't been the switch very much either. It's usually the regulator, the cables and the cross brace. And they're not that expensive if you want to just get the regulator. Another reminder, if this is beneficial for you, do me a favor, like, L-I-K-E, like the video. You're welcome to subscribe to my channel if you do a lot of power window repairs, but since that's all we do, there'll be no dancing videos or anything. Yeah, I was trying to see if I can get the plate to stay on by itself, but it just did not want to cooperate. I have chapters laid out on this, so if you want to skip ahead, you're welcome to. And here's where I got out the Gorilla Tape. And we're ready to reinstall the regulator and motor. As you can see, the plug, that white plug, is on the outside, so it's not a big deal. 10mm nuts. And whatever size those larger ones were, I don't recall, I apologize. And going to carefully put the glass back in. A little bit of WD-40 on that channel on the right. Just a tad. You don't need much. It makes it go up and down a lot easier. Every 3 or 4 months you want to give it a very light spray. And these line up pretty well, but you might need to adjust it hither or yon. Those are probably 10mm. Don't over tighten them. You're tightening into glass. Let's put the stops back on. The stops you'll want to line up the top of the window. The tops might need a little bit of adjustment, but probably not much. And I think I'm going to just try it out before I go ahead and reinstall everything. Seems to be fine. So no other helpful tips for you. There you go, that little WD-40 on the side. And I'm not sure where I skipped ahead here. Oh, I know what it was. I put it on there just so I can make sure that the glass lined up with the top of the door. So I put it on and closed the door and made sure it lined up. So now we're going to put everything else back together. So I think you got it under control. Hopefully this was helpful for you. I thank you for watching. Have a great week.